But we're in support of the institutions, Constitution of Iran, the system of al-Faqih, all of that we support. But the foreign ministries and some of the other institutions have been taken over by moderates or counter-revolutionaries. Whoever they are, it don't make us no difference. We know them, we know their behavior. We're not going to allow them to mess up the great progress of the Islamic Republic here in the United States. Why? Because the United States of America is our turf, it's our territory. We've never succeeded to anyone. And any time we've put up with anyone, and I'll mention some of the people, it's all been a part of our tactic, and it's all been a part of our strategy. We have never been on the run in the United States in the last 40 years, never. And the years before that was training. And the early years of our struggle here was training. That's why all the diseases that Negroes have, they feel, you know, the stuff we've been reading, and all the big Negroes, they have traumatic problems. We don't have it. We don't have it because we accepted the fight from the very beginning. But we accepted it with, we'll have to call it strategic brilliance. That's the way we was able to get where we are now. We're in a state right now of strategic brilliance. We have already done that. Strategic brilliance. To get here in the shape and the conditions that we're in, now, just for your own research, think of black movements, think of Islamic movements, see if you can come up with anybody that have lasted over 5 years in their confrontation with the United States. Anybody. I mean, 5 years of effectiveness. The Black Panther Party, 1966, by 1971, it was still alive, but it was defunct, it was ineffective. They had knocked it already. The Al-Islam movement, 1963, by 1969, it started really picking up. Then a few years, by 1983, the American government had knocked it. Infiltration, sabotage, diversionary tactics. Hit them with all of that. And knocked them. We're not arrogant. We've been hit with all of that 9 or 10 times. It has no effect. Well, what's the reason? It comes from Allah, that's all. The Negro can't do it by itself. It's that time in history. The time in history to where we have to manufacture the type of Negro we want to see. The Negro we have seen have been niggas that they have developed for us. And you see them and you be depressed. Will somebody turn the air off just a minute? You be depressed because you say, if niggas is like that, we're not going to get anywhere. Those are they niggas. All of the Siraj Wahajas, the Western Negroes, Sherman Jacksons, Zaid Shaka, I know them all, I've been knowing them all. All of those are manufactured Negroes. They all drink the Kool-Aid. They all drink the immigrant Kool-Aid. Do y'all remember? They've been on the circuit, imagine them, all on the circuit, and they did nothing. Now they're depressed. Imam Jamil's community. Imam Jamil's community is just like our community. When you get in trouble, you're in trouble. That's why you look at Imam Jamil, you're in trouble. They've raided our masjid, the doggone, I don't know maybe they didn't pull guns 3 or 4 times. They had a military vehicle at our masjid. The last time the paperwork says it. Armored vehicle. And nobody said nothing. That's me. That's where everybody, oh yeah, got arrested. Ain't nobody upset about it. That's the way you have to be in the early stages. You have to know what you're trying to do. You don't do it for other people. They Negroes is the ones surrounding everybody. Them Negroes are the non-functional Negroes. The average person look at them and say the movement is dead, and they give up and they sell out. They get themselves a picnic table or something, and they sell out. Because those niggas, those are trained house niggas. There's millions of people out here. That's why bring them to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching. Now, what does that mean? That means we have a public relations dilemma. We have to invite all the people to Islam. At the same time, we have to educate people, because remember, everything we said, we have to historicize, we have to archive. We did all of that, movement stuff, page by page, lecture by lecture. We've been doing that specifically all along. That's what we've been doing. That's what As-Sabiqun has been doing. If you want to read some good literature, read those old As-Sabiquns. They're brilliant. And at the right time, Allah froze them in a certain period. Okay, but now we're in a new period. We're going to be in new writings, new development. Why? Because our mission was to live through all of that. It's like a trailblazer. That's what a Sabiqun is. You are a trailblazer. You go and blaze a trail and you cut away where there ain't been no trail before. That's what we do. That's what our Sabiqun meant from day one. That's what it's always meant. And it's evolving As-Sabiqun. We trailblaze in the movement. Look at all other movements. Big as Darnham was. They wiped them out and there's no sign of it. They didn't hit us with 10 times and we still have shell properties. We have properties here. And on top of that, we're right here at it's a gold mine. Tell the truth, right in the southeast, you see white folks moving around now. Notice the price of homes. When we came out here, nobody wanted to be here. We came here on purpose. The question we asked when we came to D.C., what part of D.C. is it that nobody wants to go in? He said, this is southeast. I said, that's where we're going. And we came right away. Well, we built a little masjid, but we started acquiring property. We came over here, we bought a lot, we bought everything we could. Then, we couldn't afford it now. It's not that that's passe. We'll develop all of that, but that's part of the old structure. That was to show people what we could do. Like, we have property right here. Every time we built something, people would pop up and leave. When we built call it the media center, right out there. Nice place. People packed up and left. It was supposed to be the media. Masjid Islam TV, Masjid Islam. We had all the equipment, cameras, everything ready to roll. They packed up and left. Then the Brotherhood, we're going to have our physical fitness. We always had semi-physical fitness. So we built the gym, everybody packed up and left. Ain't nobody worked out in that gym but myself and a couple of more brothers every now and then. Books, we built this place with books. Now the place is falling down over there. We'll freshen it up, open it up. We bought half of the stuff in D.C. with books and oils. All we did was, who's the biggest guy in this area? When I got here, it was Halalko. I said, we'll catch them. That's the way, if you want to be big, you say, who's the biggest guy in town? Say, well, we just catch him. You're going to be big. He's the biggest guy in town. You're either going to pass him up or get close and don't right. It's simple. You don't have to have no big secret strategy. After a while, we had more books in our little place around the corner than they had in Halalco almost. Halalco was getting books from us. We was ordering our books from India, Pakistan, everywhere, Europe together. I mean, that's just thinking. Now, we're on another level of thinking. That's thinking for them. Now we're on state level. Now, here's what makes the white man mad. When I say state level, that means in a few years, we want to be on the level of a medium-sized country like Mexico. I mean, that's right here. You may say, that's boy, it's stretched out. No, it's not. The white man believes all his books, remember, so a man thinketh, so is he. That's what white folks believe. We thinking the way we are? Oh man, that's too bad. You know why? Because the white man know we're going to come right on it. We're either going to exceed expectations or get close. That's what dreaming, that's what visualization is. And anybody that's been coming here over a few months, don't talk about a year or two, they should already have this ingrained. They should know what to do automatically. Everybody should be on automatic pilot that's been coming here, because it's all been repeated so many times. So the Daftar, the Iranians, we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure they don't ruin anything in America. I'll give you an example. When I was in Tehran 2 times ago, they was talking about we want to I was telling them about psychological guerrilla warfare and how it worked, and they had their nose stuck up. I said, you're going to have to learn to respect me. I said, psychological guerrilla warfare has worked, and it is working. Well, we want, I said, I don't care what you want. We want to black gangs. I say, you're a damn fool. I said, one thing you cannot do, I said, you probably are still wearing diapers, but in 1991, 92, 1993, when 1991, when the Soviet Union fell, does anybody know what happened with all the FBI? They had 300 extra FBI agents. Do you know what they did with them? Think about it. They put them on black gangs. I mean, black gangs don't have a chance. You know why they didn't have a chance? Because they didn't have a chance. They never had a chance. All the big brothers, think about al-Rukin. Al-Rukin, Jeff Ford and them. If you want to talk about a gang that's organized, Imam Jamil was working with all of these brothers, and we was all coordinated. I used to go to Chicago, and these are the first young blacks they was taking me all around. They know I liked to define. We was almost the same. That's why we got along better than the intellectual. And so we go to one spot. It's a 10-story building. I said, we go to that 10-story building. We went to another spot. They was still kind of jahiliyyah. It was kind of almost like a nightclub, but they was moving from Moors to, half of them was Sunnis and the other half was Moors. They called this the Grand Major Masjid. It is strobe lights and stuff like that. I said, but I counted 16 floors. How many Negroes you know? This guy building 16 floors, and they own them. But Jeff Ford went down to Mississippi with a pocket full of weed and got that doggone marijuana case. Then they was talking on the phone from the penitentiary. Yeah, the old man want us to do this. Talking about Gaddafi. Pretty soon everybody was in prison. They didn't have the experience. They just didn't have the experience. They had the wherewithal, they had all the things. They didn't have the experience. And we did. We did because we had a mission from the very beginning. There's other groups that had more power and more money, but they didn't have a mission. And they didn't have experience. And that's what knocked them over. Okay, we're going to skip a little. The FBI, during this period, we're going to slap them around a little bit, as usual. But we're going to call them up on stuff. I give you an example. The Daftar said, we got a letter from the FBI that they don't want us to. I said, well, you're going to have to call them in court. Of course, I want the name of the FBI agent and I want the paperwork. You got anything that says that they say this? They didn't say it, you're going to have to go to court. You're going to go and say, one of y'all, either the FBI, and if the FBI told anybody else, we're strictly a religious organization, right? Freedom of speech, press, and religion. If the FBI told anybody to stay away from us and we got a clean record because we're not in prison, then we taking them to their own court on it. They're just having fun. But they don't have a right. We call them, you don't have no right. Everybody believes the FBI have a right to do. You don't have no right to do nothing. We are a religious movement and organization. You ain't got no right to tell people stay away from us. They think they do, right? We're already going to hold them up on it because there's people that said it already. They wrong. We calling them up on it. First Amendment rights. You ain't got no right to tell nobody to stay away from us. You ain't got the right. That's the First Amendment, right? And why are you doing all this stuff anyway? What is your probable cause? Right? What do we do? You can pull up tanks in front of our masjid and drag us out of our masjid anytime you want. They're going to have to explain that to everybody. This time. No, everything everybody thought they was getting away with, they wasn't getting away with nothing. That's what design fitna is. If we're going to be as big as we say, you got to go straight up against the white man. And guess what? Nobody ever had that opportunity. Can you imagine? Nobody ever got as far as we are right now. Nobody. If you think I'm lying, open your black history books. Read about the black movement. Read about the Muslims. Find anybody that even got to the attitude that we have. Yeah, just ain't. They don't have that attitude. You know, I told the big gangster Negroes when I was in Oakland last time, I said the only thing, we was all the same almost. The only difference between me and you guys accepted the white man's authority. You accept the white man's authority. I don't. That's enough. Okay. Abdul-Malik them and the Brotherhood, we got to hold, the whole Brotherhood list is going to have to explain their behavior. Because our mechanism, invite them all to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, we're going to try to do it in the most admirable way. But we've offered people outs on and on. All they have to do is a little cooperation. They haven't cooperated yet. So we call them to account. Account on what? On your behavior. Why did you do this, that, and another over all of this time? It's all documented. They're going to have to answer. How are people going to find out? From our mechanism. That's what they're doing. Our own propaganda mechanism. And even this little stuff, it gets out a little bit. Okay. DC is the same. Muslim Congress, the Daftar and this is the Shia brothers. Suppose we help them get started, build them up. First 5 years with the main speakers and organizers. Then when they get rolling, some word come from somewhere. It's from the Iranian counter-revolutionaries. The Iranian counter-revolutionaries tell them to act a certain way. And I know the last time I spoke at the programmers in Detroit, they had me paired up with the little white lady, Medea Benjamin. She had wrote a book on Saudi Arabia. No, she didn't wrote a book on Iran. And I told them what was happening with Saudi Arabia. Somebody asked a question, does her ideas and yours? I said, hell, she don't know nothing about that. She's sitting right there. I said, our decisions come from struggle. Not write no book on Saudi Arabia. Of course, they haven't invited me back, but it's an insult to sit me up there with that white woman, and I've been fighting for that time 35 years, and she's writing a damn book. Writing a book don't have nothing to do with going through the paces and learning the behavior. You gotta remember now, learning the behavior. Do we know the behavior? Ask yourself, have our predictions been correct? Have they been 80% correct? 85? 90? 97% correct? Have our forecast over the last 35 years, or whatever you've been. What's the accuracy? You gotta ask yourself that. With Iranians or anybody else. So right now, we told the Iranians, remember I was talking earlier about President Eisenhower. President Eisenhower said something about plans are worthless, but planning is everything. That's what you hear on C-SPAN. I listened to it 4 or 5 times. Now, I like half of that, but I believe in both planning and a plan. That's why in all of our to-do lists, we had a plan or a strategy. Always. Because a plan is something that keeps you focused. But planning, what is planning? All of this stuff, books after books, copies and stuff. But planning.